got 6.
Good evening, Daytona Beach. It is a great day to be among the living, and it is a great day to be a resident in Daytona Beach. At this time, and I want to welcome all of you to our CRA meeting, our Community Redevelopment Agency. We're happy to have you. At this time, I would ask that Ms. LaMagna review the procedures for tonight's meeting.
Good evening. Agendas are available on the table in the lobby in the front of the commission chambers. All of the exhibits pertaining to items on the agenda are posted in the lobby. Please feel free to view the exhibits at any time during tonight's meeting. You are required to fill out a blue form to speak before the Community Redevelopment Agency. Forms are available on the table in the lobby and at the front of the commission chambers. You must complete the sections that ask for your name, address, topic of concern, agenda item number, signature, and date. The form must be completed and placed in the designated box. Resolutions under administrative items number 6 are open for public comments, and you may fill out a blue form to speak when that item is called. All citizens completing the blue form will be allowed to speak for 3 minutes. When you approach the lectern, please speak clearly into the microphone and give your full name and address. The 3-minute clock on the monitor above and directly in front of you will start running when you begin to speak. Pay close attention to your time. You will be told when your time has expired. Disorderly conduct in the public meeting of the City Commission. Article 2, Section 6238 of the City Code of Ordinances reads as follows. It shall be unlawful for any person to behave in a riotous or disorderly manner in any public meeting of the City Commission or any committee, agency, or board thereof, or to cause any unnecessary disturbances therein by force, shouting, or any other action that is calculated to disrupt such meeting, or to refuse to obey any ruling of the presiding officer or such meeting relative to the orderly process thereof. Please be courteous and respectful of the views of others. Personal attacks on the Community Redevelopment Agency, city staff, or members of the public are not allowed. Please silence cell phones and other wireless devices during the meeting. All conversation must take place either at the lectern or on the dais so that everyone can hear the business being discussed tonight.
Ms. LaMagna, may we have a roll call?
Commissioner Henry?
Present.
Commissioner Reed?
Here.
Commissioner Traeger?
Here.
Commissioner May?
Here.
Commissioner Cantu?
Here.
Mayor Derek L. Henry.
Here. At this time, we will have the invocation, led by Commissioner Traeger, and the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Commissioner Henry.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this blessed day and for all who are here. Watch over us. Help us make the right decisions for the people of Daytona Beach. We don't always appreciate all the things you do for us, but please know that we are grateful. Bless those in service, whether here or overseas. Bless our first responders. Keep them safe. Help us make the right decisions for our community. Give us patience, give us wisdom. Ask this. Thank you so much. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll now move on to item number 4, which is approval of the minutes of the September 22nd, 2021 business meeting of the Community Redevelopment Agency.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion from Commissioner Traeger and a second from Commissioner Reed. Any questions or comments? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
Aye.
Those who are opposed, the same sign. Motion carries 6-0. This time we'll have our agenda approval. If there are any changes, our city manager will address them.
Honorable Mayor, Commissioners, there are no changes for tonight's CRA meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion. We'll take a second from Commissioner May. Motion from Commissioner Reed. Do we have any questions or comments? All
I
right.
do.
Yes, ma'am.
I would like Mr. Jagger to explain 6B with the funding.
This is the proto-group item, 6B. Mr. Morris may have better knowledge concerning the facts which led to the agreement. I'll be glad to explain the agreement, but the underlying facts come from staff.
Can we just,
Or
when we
Mr.
get,
Fietcher may know.
when we get to the item,
Yeah,
can he just explain it then?
that's fine.
All right. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 6-0.
Okay, moving on to item number 6. Item number 6A, City Manager Office Redevelopment Division Sale of Surplus Property Resolution. A resolution approving the sale and conveyance of city-owned parcels of real property located within the Midtown and Main Street redevelopment areas and providing an effective date.
So move.
Have a motion, have a second. Motion by Ms. Traeger, second by Ms. May.
And I do have a speaker, Mr. Mayor. It's Ms. Stephanie Jones.
Ms. Jones, would you, I know I just want to see you. You want to speak to us? You have anything to say? Nothing? Okay. Do you have any questions or comments? Well, I'm excited about this project, Ms. Jones. This is exactly what we want to see in the city of Daytona Beach, especially in our core areas. So glad you're here and glad you are making this investment in the community.
I'd just
Any
like to
other
say
questions?
thank you.
Okay. All right. We have a motion. We have a second.
And I have no other speakers for
No
the
other
record.
speakers. All those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion happily, gladly carries 6-0.
Okay. Moving now on to item 6B, it's the Development and Administrative Services, the Third Amendment to the Proto Group's Utility Agreement Resolution. A resolution approving the Third Amendment to the Daytona Beach Convention Hotel and Condominiums Utility and Offsite Improvement Agreement between the city, the Community Redevelopment Agency, and Proto Group, Inc., modifying conditions relating to the issuance of certificate of occupancy for Proto Group's condominium hotel project and for the city's reimbursement to Proto Group of certain public utility costs associated with the project, providing for $283,829 to be withheld from the city reimbursement, authorizing the mayor and the city clerk to execute the amendment, authorizing the mayor as the CRA chair and the city clerk to execute the amendment, and providing an effective date.
Second.
I have a motion from Ms. May and a second from Ms. Reed. Do we have any questions or comments? We know we have some from Ms. Presentation. Okay. We'll go with
Mr.
the
Morris,
present.
Is there any way you can explain that there will be a bonding because of some misinformation being out there in the public?
Mayor and Commission, Jim Morris, Deputy City Manager. And I think the Commissioner's question pertains to the creation of a bond to make up for the shortfall that they have in relation to the sidewalks, in relation to the beach ramp, and some modest landscaping. There is a bond requirement written into the agreement where they bond the work to the city. And that's a part of this agreement. There also was a bond prior in terms of the things they did for public improvements. And to the other side of the coin, in terms of the intersection, we're actually taking cash that we hold, it's the property of Proto Group, and taking that money from them with their consent instead of trying to liquidate a bond, which city attorney can explain. I'm sure that the rest of y'all are pretty aware that if you try to liquidate a bond versus taking cash on hand, it's a much cleaner, quicker process. The other improvements, which are a small part of the overall balance of things to be done, are going to be bonded with the cash on hand from them to perform the work prior to the issuance of the permanent CO. And if the work isn't done, then we have the money to perform the work ourselves. I personally checked the ramp. The ramp itself is complete. The concrete apron down to the sand is there. The pavement is all there. All that stuff was in place as of 2 days ago. And there's no work done. I mean, it had been done quite some time ago. It's the peripheral items that need to be accomplished, and that work is bonded to be performed. Or will be bonded. It's not bonded yet.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Is that it?
How long it'll take for them to do the work?
No.
Okay.
But the work will be done by FDOT.
The work in terms of the intersection will be done by FDOT. And then the work upon the sidewalks and the landscaping will be done by the contractors the Proto Group hires, or if they don't do it, we would put them on notice and have that part of the work done ourselves. FDOT has an overall project to work on intersections on A1A, and this will be one of the intersections that's worked on. And when you look at the physics of this intersection, there was a large trench that came from Peninsula, or rather from Halifax, to A1A to bring the water and sewer lines, and it runs across the south line of the intersection. Those lines are very large. And just looking at the work when it was occurring, I would say the trench was probably 20 feet deep, at least 20 feet wide. And the balance of the intersection wasn't dug up. That's why there's pavers over here and asphalt over there. So when you dig a hole, I mean, any of us that have done that, you fill the hole back in. Typically, the hole kind of compresses a little bit and things happen. And the concern that we had, and DOT shared this concern, we being city staff, was that if the thing was just partially rebuilt from the excavation, you'd wind up with something that wasn't stable all the way across the face of the intersection. So the entire intersection will be recapped with concrete all the way across the entire part, including the currently undisturbed part where pavers exist. And DOT will do that work and then have finished concrete similar to the Silver Beach intersection compared to other intersections on A1A that have pavers. Poured concrete is more stable, wears better, rides better, and simply works better overall. And that's DOT's effort in terms of what they will do as they come along A1A, including this intersection.
Give us a schedule of work to be performed and timelines. I say that only because
They have not done that, no.
I'd like to find out if we can get that when they start, only because it's a huge imposition to all the residents on Beachside. We've been doing it.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble.
It's a huge imposition time-wise, not knowing the traffic patterns, when it's going to change, when it's going to happen. It's very hard on them over there, and they've been living like that for a while now. So if the more information we can get, the better off. And if we could distribute that or let people know, that would be great.
Understood. And as you look at the article, which the article I thought was a fairly neutral article. If you look at the online comments, there's a lot of commentary that makes it seem as if something isn't being done. It's actually the opposite. Something wasn't being done, and staff stepped in to make sure that it got done. And we have the mechanism to do it. We had their money on hand to take from them, hold from them, and also hold the CO so that they couldn't proceed, and they were in a position where they really financially have to proceed to do what they're supposed to do. The bailout or whatever that's referenced in some of the comments I've seen online, there's no bailout. It's their money. It's their CO that's being held up until they do the work. And importantly for us, in this mechanism, when the CO is issued, they go on the tax rolls. Presently, they're not on the tax rolls because they don't have a CO. I talked to the property appraiser's office today in respect to valuation, and they don't know the valuation yet of the property. I know they've stated $100 million, they being the property owners, in paper. That turns into a boatload of money that comes into the tax coffer. So having the CO in place, and it has to be in place by 11/59, December 31st, for the tax roll of 2022 to have the property on the tax roll, there is a huge incentive for us from both a CRA perspective and a city commission perspective to have that property on the tax roll. And whether it's operated by Proto Group, or if Proto Group sells it, it goes into bankruptcy, whatever, the tax burden is still attached to that property. So there's incentive for us to do that. We are protecting the physical component of the roads itself in coordination with DOT, and they have worked with us to do that, and I think it's a great thing that they have. So that in terms of taking a bad situation that was created by whatever circumstances people want to point out, this is the best way to rescue that part of it. And the building itself is otherwise complete. Certainly.
I think from our perspective as a city, I realize that a lot of people have been and are frustrated with this particular project. But what we have to remember is that in this case, the mechanisms that we put in place to try to protect our community's assets and the city's assets are actually working. You know, and we couldn't have done a whole lot more than what we've done to protect ourselves in this particular case. So you will always have those in the community who will point the finger and say what we should have done. But overall, what we've done here mostly is working about as well as it could. So that being said, do we have any other questions? I'm sure we have some other speakers.
I do have a speaker, Mr. John Nicholson. And then I have Mr. Rob Merrill here for any additional questions.
John Nicholson, 413 North Cranberry Avenue. As you know, I live across the street from the project, and I've been watching it. But what you all don't remember is that also across the street from me is Ocean Walk and Wyndham. It took him 15 years to get Ocean Walk finished. This has been 5 years. So when people complain about how long it took, it really isn't that long, considering the fact that their money was taken from them and they didn't have any money. What they accomplished was phenomenal. Third, a lot of the things that we were talking about, the ramp, okay, I walk back behind there, the ramp is done. It's been done for a while. They've paved the sidewalk in front of the condominiums. They put the fence up. So that portion is looking good. What's remaining right here, and I don't remember anybody saying it, the median on the south side, when they did the pavement back and forth, is still dirt. Is this going to fix that, I hope, with the FDOT? Yes, no, maybe? We don't know. All right, but it looks terrible. It's right in front of IHOP and Archie's new place. So all of that area is being redone, and this is the hole in the donut kind of thing. But the Wyndham pays $1 million a year in taxes. This will give us $500,000 a year in taxes for our CRA. All right? So we're going to benefit. It's their money. It's a way of completing the project. And regardless of what happened in the past, the building is there. Everybody kept saying that the building will never be finished. It is finished. It is fantastic. If you haven't been there, I urge you to go. And I urge you to go to the 27th floor and see what the condominiums are going to look like. It is a 4-star. It's our second 4-star. The Marriott will be our third 4-star. Jonathan just announced that he can put $45 million into the plaza. That'll be our fifth 4-star. Hilton will have to do a 4-star to keep up with them. And then hopefully Lotus will come down and be our sixth 4-star. And to have 6 4-star hotels within 1.25 miles will change the area drastically. So I'm asking you to look at this in a positive way to get it finished and moving, so that our others will compensate as well. Thank you.
And I have one additional speaker, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Doyle Lewis.
Good evening, my associates. My name is Doyle Lewis, Daytona Beach, United States of America. The longer you wait to let people do business in Daytona Beach, the more money you lose, which the mayor pointed out today, a while ago. The mechanisms and the arms that flow in this business committee needs to keep flowing. The more you turn over money, the more you make money. It's the way it works. It doesn't really matter who owns a piece of property in the city limits of Daytona Beach. What really matters is how the money flows. The more money that flows, the more money you make. The entire reason why I'm making this speech is because Central Florida area decided to make me a person who wasn't in business any longer. Because they thought they could control a United States citizen by telling them no too many times. I will repeat this so people can understand what the word no means. It means you're going to lose money. It's that simple. The entire process of the Freedom Acts of America is to allow business to work. God bless America. I'm back. Daytona Beach. Thank you.
Yeah. That was my final speaker for this item, Mr. Mayor.
All right, we have a motion. Excuse me, we have a motion and we have a second. Do we have any other questions or comments? All right. All those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 6-0. All right, that concludes the agenda. Are there any comments from the members of the CRA? Okay. If there's no comments from the manager or city attorney, this concludes our CRA meeting, and we will reconvene our regularly scheduled commission meeting as quickly as possible.